Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm going to go over the trade that we took on Friday as well as the plan going into this week. So last week, the second half of the week wasn't the easiest. On Friday, this is the trade we took. I went over it in last video, but I'll just go over it again if you didn't see it. So on Friday, the market was still bullish. If you look at the 30-minute here, we're crossed, 10's above the 50, 50's trending up super hard. And you can see as soon as we did get that, cross of the SMAs on the 30-minute and the 50 started curling up, that's when we had trend in the market. And you can see how well respected this chart is, or how bullish the market was at this point, since we just kept pretty much inching our way up higher and higher, and all dips got eaten up. So if we go to the 0-day chart now, this is what we took. 5-minute here, this is the trade we took. So right off of open, we ended up getting a gap up, and this cross right here, again, it was just too much of a risk to take just because of how far price was from the 10 SMA at the time. It looks a bit closer on this chart just because this is after it happened, but originally the 10 was still pretty far away from the 50, so there's really no entry on this cross up in here. And then this dip down in the 50 is the trade we took. So this didn't happen until what, 10? So like 10:04 is when I went long. So that was this dip down in here. Went long, and we ended up closing below the 50 and getting stopped out for, I think it was, I took a 10-point loss at NQ. So I mean, like the good thing about like the end of the week, I took probably like 2 or 3 losses, but all of them were really small. Like 10 points on NQ. I took one for like 3 points on ES. I mean, like, they were just very small, and I mean, that's pretty much all you could really hope for when you do take a loss, is that if it's small, you want it to be small. So our winners on NQ, you guys know, it's like at least 40 points on NQ, usually between like 50 and 60 is typically what we get, but minimum 40. And on ES, I mean, it's like 8 to 12 points depending on the market, but that's the best thing you could hope for when you do take a loss, is that it's small. And again, since the market was bullish on Friday, this negative cross was not a trade you want to take. It kind of, there was kind of a reason maybe if you did want to take it. It does make sense just because of this 4-hour chart right here. As you can see, the reason we dumped on Friday was because of this 4-hour chart. The 4-hour massive resistance on Friday, we never were able to break above that 50, and that's why we ended up dropping in the second half of the day, because we were hovering around this major resistance area, and it finally got a hard rejection. So since we did start rejecting, I mean, you could kind of think, okay, since the calls are losing it, maybe they could really drop this thing, and that's pretty much what happened. But I just stay out of it. I think it's just best to play with the trend, and when the market does give like a negative cross like that, just sit out, and because like what the good trades are to take, and that wasn't one of them. So again, on Friday, the puts did get across on the 0-day chart. It's kind of like the same scenario with the negative cross. Since we did reject that 4-hour, there was a chance that we did get a hefty drop, and that's what happened. 10 went above the 50. Obviously, this initial cross right here, you're not in this until it starts curling, which didn't happen up until this area right here. You can see we got a pretty big drop from there. But again, this was not a trade that I took, or you should be taking, because when that did happen, you can see when we got the cross, it's around 1340, 1350. If we go to the call side real quick, what calls we had? We had the 615s, I believe, right? 615s. So if you go to 30-minute here, you can see when that cross did happen, we were in this area of the 50s. So since we're at the 30-minute 50, I sat out of this cross. Market's bullish, and we're at 30-minute 50. I did not take that 0-day cross. Again, I could kind of see why maybe you do want to take a stab at it. If you did, like sometimes I might do that, just go lower size on it, because there is a chance we do get a good drop from that, since the 4-hour rejected, and there would be a possibility of that 30-minute 50 breaking and getting a good move down. So yeah, but I always think it's just best just trade with the direction of the trend. That's what will give you net you the most points and do the best. So that's what we did on Friday. Going into this week, we're either going to get the 615s or the 610s, depending on the opening price. Obviously, rounded the nearest fifth dollar, and SPY's around like 607, 608. So we're kind of in the middle of what contract we're going to get. Either going to be the 610s, 615s, both of them. Well, the 610s are more bullish at the moment, because this could still possibly get back above. If you look at the like higher time frames, they're still pretty bullish. I don't think the 2 hours. So yeah, the 2-hour 50's down super hard at the moment. Looks a bit weird. In this chart right here, the 610s already broke above the 4-hour 50. So I mean, it kind of still is bullish, but this chart right here is pretty bearish looking. Obviously, there could still be a possibility we rip to the daily 50 exactly, but I mean that daily 50 is sloped down super hard. I highly doubt, that would break. Again, we're just gotta see where we open and see what contracts we get, but the plan is pretty simple. So if the 30-minute chart goes negative, obviously the market will be neutral, and you're gonna be looking for a cross on either side of the premium. But we still need a break below the hourly 50 in the 2 hour because this hourly 50 is still sloped up super hard. So that'll still be a spot that we can bounce from, and maybe this bounces right after the 30-minute or the hourly, and then gets back above the 1050 here, and we continue the trend. So that's one possibility. If we gap up on Monday and the trend gets back above and be bullish, then obviously look for a 0 DT cross on calls, negative cross on puts, 50 dip on calls on the 0-day chart, and those are the setups you're going to want to be taking. So that's pretty much what you want to be looking for. Again, kind of depends on the contracts. Like the 615s are a lot more bearish because this chart right here is pretty much already going negative almost. If we did open up with these contracts, maybe this would cross negative and the 50 would curl down. Higher time frame, again, those 615s are sitting right at the 1 hour 50. And the 2 hour looks weird, and then this 4 hour chart obviously rejected that 50 SMA. And the daily, we still have that daily 50 all the way up there. So yeah, kind of depends on the open mar of what's going to happen. Neutral market, obviously, cross on either side. Bullish market, focus on the longs. So yeah, that's pretty much plan going into tomorrow. If you guys enjoy, drop a sub. If you guys want to follow along with the trades we take throughout the day, link to the privates down below, and all the information on the systems in there. But yeah, I'm out. Peace.